Good morning and happy Monday. It's time for another Mindful Play Monday Live, and welcome to June. Happy June as well. It is the first day of a new month and we have some fun activities planned for you throughout the summer. We're going to be playing with our schedule a little bit as we work with summer camps, family vacations, and all that good stuff. So stay tuned throughout the summer. I'll be sure to post in our stories when we're going to have some schedule changes for our Mindful Play Monday Lives. But today we're right on track with our normal session. So for today, we're going to focus on tuning into the present moment, focusing on our breathing, as well as a fun and classic old game that you can make right at home. The only things that you'll need are a paper cup, a wooden bead about this size. You can go a little bit larger if you like. We have just a pack of these that we've had for years from Dollar Tree. You'll need some string or yarn, and then either a sharp pencil, or I like to use a little skewer to poke a hole, because what we're making is the classic ball in cup catch game. So if you remember this as a kid, they were usually like wooden, sometimes plastic. You have your ball attached to the bottom of the string. You're gonna focus and try to catch it in your cup. So this is gonna work on a lot of different things at once. So of course, hand-eye coordination, focus, we're gonna use it as a breathing tool. And then of course, a nice visual reminder of what happens when our mind is going crazy and we're going hyper-focusing or getting anxious about things. It's really hard to stay on track, right? Oh, it's really hard to get that ball in the cup. Just like it's really hard when our mind is out of control and anxious. But when we focus on calming down, when we focus on centering ourselves, keeping that ball still, like our mindfulness, it's so much easier to catch, right? It's so much easier to be successful. And then of course you can decorate it any way you like. So let's get started. Good morning, thanks for joining us. We are making the classic ball in cup game with a mindful twist today. So like I said, you're gonna start with a paper cup. Really any size is fine. We've got like a small to medium paper cup here. The first thing you're gonna do is have your kiddos decorate them. So a lot of times these cups have like a little, you can see it's a little bit shiny, like a plastic covering over those. So we actually like to use a Sharpie, or we like to use stickers because those stick well versus using like crayons or colored pencils or even like the washable markers, because those will just smear everywhere and make a big mess, and we don't want to do that. So the first step is going to be decorate your cup. So maybe you'll do some hearts. You can do really anything you like. And if you're doing this in a summer camp or a classroom, of course, be sure to write the child's name on the cup or have them write their name on the cup. And we're just doing some really quick hearts for time's sake. And then, like I said, if you do have those cups that have the little plastic film, stickers work really well on those. So we're just gonna add a few. We have some plain dot stickers here. You could do any fun theme that you like, customize it to each kid, let them get creative and crafty. This is a fun summer activity for really any age. Even teenagers love this one because you can decorate it however you like. Super simple there, right? So now the next step, of course, if you are working with little ones, the adult is going to do this. You're gonna look right in the middle of the cup on the bottom. And there you go, poke a little hole. So you don't want the hole to be too big because you're going to have to tie a knot down in there. If you can see, oh, I've got white yarn on a white cup in there, so it's a little hard to see. And then you're going to take your yarn. Now, the length of your yarn is going to depend on the size of your cup. So what you want to do is put your string down in there and make sure that when you have your yarn in there, you have enough left over for there to be like a little overhang so that you can then flip and catch that bead or that ball back into the cup. So we did about a full 12 inches here. Again, it depends on the length of your cup. If you have a larger cup, you're gonna need a longer string to be able to flip that back into the cup, okay? So you're gonna take one end of your yarn and your wooden bead. Again, we just grabbed these at Dollar Tree. We've had them for a few years. You can use any size wooden bead. A little bit larger would also work. You really don't wanna go too much smaller than this particular size because then it's really tricky to get caught in the cup and you don't want them to get frustrated. So I've just put the bead onto the end, one end of the yarn there. I'm gonna tie a few knots to make sure that it's nice and taut. and not gonna go flying anywhere. And then if you have any excess yarn, you can of course always just trim that off as needed, like so. And then I'm gonna take the other end of my yarn and stick it through the hole there on the bottom of the cup. Now this is also kind of a fun little physics experiment. You can play with different lengths of string. So this one's a lot longer. And for some reason this one's a little bit shorter. I think I grabbed the wrong string, but that's okay, we're gonna make it work. And then I like to use, again, the end of that dowel, or that skewer, excuse me, to kind of help me poke and guide the yarn through the bottom of the hole. And then pull it up. Now you can pull it all the way up to tie your knot, and then of course you're gonna push it back down in there so that it's not sticking up. I like to do 3 or 4 just regular little knots so that it's nice and thick, so it's not gonna fall through that hole that we made in the bottom. All right, now, there we go. So you can see, oh, it's a little blurry. It's another gray overcast day here today, so the lighting is not the best. You can see I've got a nice big knot there, so it's not going to go anywhere. So again, play with the length of your yarn if you like. You can always make it a little bit longer and then trim as needed. You can see we've got a couple of different lengths here. And I'm gonna scoot back. I'm gonna show, of course, how to play this game. So this is one that we just made. And how when we keep our mind still and focused, it's so much easier to catch that ball, isn't it? If we get our anxious brain going and it's hard to regulate our breath, it's hard to focus, it's almost nearly impossible to catch that ball or that bead in the cup, and you can really get going. Make sure your little ones have plenty of space if they're working in teams or groups, that they're not going to smack anybody with the string or the ball. So it's a great visual representation of that anxious brain or that monkey mind when it's kind of going crazy. What are some things that we can do to slow down, calm down, focus ourselves? Oop, and then you'll see it's a lot easier to get that ball caught in the cup. So this is a great way to start those conversations. What are some things that we can do to slow down and focus our mind? Well, it's going to depend on the kid, right? Some kids may like some breathing techniques, like box breathing, breathe in, out, like you're tracing around a square or a box. You could also focus on fidget tools, sensory input, maybe doing 10 jumping jacks if they're really hyped up and anxious. That will help get that big energy out. Maybe those pressure points, or making fists, pushing together and releasing, pushing together and releasing. It's really, again, going to depend on the child. So with all of our Mindful Play Monday activities that we do, we like to say prep these ahead of time. Work these into your weekly routine so that you have the tools available when you need them. So you're already going to have had that conversation about what are some things we can do to calm our brains, and then we're going to use that as a visual reminder that, woo, when our brains are going all over the place, we need to slow down, focus on what we can control, focus on what's right in front of us, like our little bead or our ball. Take a deep breath and give it another try. Another great tool to build resilience too, because of course this is going to take some practice. This is going to take some repetition to get it. Most children are not going to get it on the very first try, and that's going to see some frustration, right? And frustration's okay. We're going to work on resilience and not giving up and keep going. A fun scientific tool too to look at physics and how changing your hold of the cup and the angle of the cup and the speed of your toss to catch the ball as well. So a quick and easy activity, fun to customize. You can decorate your cups any old way that you like and catch yourself in those wild monkey mind thoughts and help calm down and slow the spiral of negativity. Center yourself back in and get back in the cup. Get back on track. Thanks for joining us. We hope you've had a great start to summer. We'll have more fun, simple play ideas to keep you going all summer long. I will have the recording up here shortly on our YouTube channel as well as on our Instagram. And have a great rest of your week. Happy June. We'll see you back later in June for more fun and activities. Take care.